Mr. Prime Minister, Minister of Health and Wellness, those of you who craft this order, I don't know what to say to you, but the Holy Ghost within me tells me that this order is working against the church. It's working against the body of Christ. Mr. Prime Minister, I was watching a program last night and you declare me to be your good friend. My good friend, I'm telling you, sir, this order, God gets no glory out of it. And it's making the society worse than it ought to be. You are crippling the fountain of life that gives life to the nation. You're blocking the well. Somebody give me a chance in this house and plant this. You're blocking the well. You're stopping the fountain. Shakonda bohura babasata. Loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church. You're destroying the foundation. And if the foundation be destroyed.
Bless up ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to another live video. It's your girl and Isabel Rose. Everybody hearing me well? Big up all the moderators. Big up to the members of the ABR membership. Angela, Yvonne Wallace, Charmby, big up on yourself. Lee Respectford, outer many. Patricia Hutchings, big up yourself, my sis, every time. Welcome to the live, one and all. As you come up on the live, please to like and share out this live. We're talking about ballot box issues this morning. And a whole heap of issues clouding this government, this current government, this prime minister, where we must go to the ballot and we must reject them. Big up yourself, Nelson. This pastor here back in 2021 says blocking the way. My God.
Mr. Prime Minister, Minister of Health and Wellness, those of you who craft this order, I don't know what to say to you, but the Holy Ghost within me tells me that this order is working against the church. It's working against the body of Christ. Mr. Prime Minister, I was watching a program last night and you declare me to be your good friend. My good friend, I'm telling you, sir, this order, God gets no glory out of it. And it's making the society worse than it ought to be. You're crippling the fountain of life that gives life to the nation. You're blocking the well. Somebody give me a chance in this house and plant this. You're blocking the well. You're stopping the fountain. Shakonda bohura babasata. Loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church, loose the church. You're destroying the foundation. And if the foundation be destroyed, what can the nation do?
Big up yourself, Minecraft. You say I'm low? Alright, let me see if I can turn this up a bit. I don't want the echoing in the live when I'm playing the audio, that's why. But we just have to go work with it. You hearing me any better now? Big up yourself, Curly. Big up to Lassom Riley. Big up yourself, sis. Scarlett Ebanks. Big up yourself. Everybody hearing me clearer now? Big up Diane. Volume any better? Alright then. So we're kicking off this aspect. We hear the pastor there saying that they have crippled the church. They are crippling the church. And the first thing I'm going to be speaking on right now is the continued FID appointment saga, where we're seeing them appoint a Dennis Strong who has no law enforcement experience. He does not have the 12 years experience, with 5 being at a senior level to have been appointed to such a post. And I be a close mouth, big up yourself, Godson. I be a close mouth and secrecy. The Solicitor General stated that, they can't give access to certain information because of fear of breach and lawsuit and other person's privacy. Then we see in the Minister of Information coming out saying that it was, word of mouth between the panelists of members of the Office of the Service Commission. And then we get a different statement from even the Ministry of Finance, who later pulled the press release. And so it leaves more cloud in the minds of our people. And we see in mainstream media, the Gleaner pressing to still get answers as to why did they remove such a critical and a important aspect of the criteria when it was there for the first advertisement. Then same was removed, and they said it was removed in order to capture a wider range of persons. So why would you move such a critical criteria and thinking that you're gonna capture a wider pool? But we, the well-thinking Jamaicans, were asking, even if it is so that the person who was chosen in the first round declined, I'm sure it is not him alone that was granted that one-on-one interview for the post. And so what about the other persons who were shortlisted in the first round? Right? Let alone for them to come and do a second round and remove such an important criteria. And so we learned through the Gleaner that there's 5 members of this panel who basically did the interview and the whole shortlisting of this FID appointment. And they spoke with 2 of them. And as you can see, the headline there, "Mom is the word." And as the old time people, them usually say, "Mom is the word and parapinta is the game." So nobody no want talk, everybody more lock, be a secrecy surrounding this. And as I stated on the title of this video, these are ballot box issues. And when we go to the polls, when the general election is called and we go to the polls, we must not make any mistake as to who we would want to represent us as a people, as who we would want to represent us as a country. Now the lady on the left goes by the name of Professor Denise Eldemere Shearer. She is the ex-wife of Hugh Shearer. I want to know who Hugh Shearer was. The next person on the right is Bishop Conrad Pitkin. And when questioned by the Gleaner, Mrs. Shearer says that they cannot comment in keeping with the rules of the commission. They cannot comment in keeping with the rules of the commission. And so, when under the access to information denied, we have 2 members out of the 5-member panelists not saying a word. They cannot speak based on the rules of the commission. And when we hear Prophet Mark Stewart come out and say that the church is not standing with him, other leaders of other denomination not coming and standing with him, not keeping silent because of politics. But we have a bishop here who sits on the commission and everybody is tight-lipped. Nobody wants to say why we cannot know who gave the directive, who gave the order to remove such a critical criteria of requirement. And with a Kevin Blake, who is the current commissioner of police, stated that they have 2,000 police officers who are trained at the tertiary level. And it begs to question why none of those were chosen. No other than a Fitzbailey who declined to take up the post. No other person out of those 2,000 tertiary level trained law enforcement officers couldn't have gotten such an appointment. That's what we are still asking. That is what we want to know. Big up yourself, Elselin. Big up yourself, Les. One Dan, much respect. Big up. I speak my mind. Big up yourself. Last some Riley, big up sis. All of the moderators, big up on yourself. That is what we want to know. And there are many more ballot box issues that I might not even get to speak on all of it in this live. But I will continue to say we cannot make any mistake. When we have a Peter Chambers coming out speaking, we hear say them and a pastor. We hear from the trolls them say them are man of God and them mix up in a politics, and they are Jamaicans. They can speak. God can use them to speak to the nation, to enlighten the nation. And whether some wants to believe it or not, we are a God-fearing set of people. Big up yourself, Flash Digi. Which is bro? Big up yourself. Everybody hearing me? Sound like some noise outside. Everybody hearing me clear? So Brian, big up yourself. And so we cannot make any mistake going forward in this general election. Too much secrecy. Too much gag order of this current government. And might I take it a bit further? I want to speak on even something that caught my eyes in the news of recently, where the headline says, "A year in the cold. Some Hurricane Beryl victims still awaiting promised help to repair ravaged homes." Can you imagine? After a year, is the same July year Beryl hit, and persons are still awaiting promised help. But we have a sitting member of parliament who took a platform where they were campaigning, and him say they must put them X beside the effing. So him no want to hear what kind of pain you know feel. Him no want to hear what kind of disgruntlement you know have. Him don't want to hear nothing. Lock on the eye and put on the X. They don't care about uno. Close on the eyes and put on the X. And that him basically I say. And then another supporter of mine was basically saying, you know, Miss Rose, it can look on another way too. Either I might tell them indirectly if it spoil the ballot too, because when you lock your eye, when you lock your eye You can't put the X anywhere and spoil the ballot. You can't even put the X beside the head and give the People's National Party the vote. A year of pain. Hurricane Beryl survivors in Clarendon face unmet promises of aid and relief. Them no want to hear that. The economy, they say, is booming. The economy, the good economy can yam. That's what the current Prime Minister stated. So, when you get no assistance even after a year, we no want to hear that. Put on the X beside the F in. Mighty God. What can go so, Navlet Osborne? Maisie, Sefu, Vern, what can go so? My God. Isn't this another ballot box issue? Isn't this another ballot box issue? We're seeing even the Statin came out with reports stating that there is now a 1.1% growth as to our gross domestic product. That's the GDP. And we're seeing the current Minister of Finance a boast and a brag and a go on. She's so silent when it comes on to her speaking in the parliament. She's so soft-spoken. But when it comes for her to put out the things on social media, she's very active on the social media space. And she proceeded to say that the 1.1%, the 1.1 so-called percent of, growth is positive and strong. So we're coming from a decline of 0.8 for the last quarter. And in the first quarter, seems to me them manipulate something, because these numbers are not sitting well with me, because we hear the people them on the ground crying otherwise. Food prices skyrocket gone up. People them cannot afford. The people them cannot afford food. I seen a lady put out a video saying that a tin of jack mackerel, and I want to find that video to show you right here. So give me a few seconds. I find it. She's boasting that the 1.1% growth is positive and strong.
Look up for $600 in a shop, corner shop. Look up for $600. Andrew, come down now. Come down, Andrew, come down. Bye.
Andrew, come down. $600 for a tin of Grace Jack Mackerel. Andrew, you have to come down. But then we see an economist who goes by the name of Damian King saying that if the Minister of Finance is boasting of a 1.1% GDP growth, then we as a country needs ambition. My God. No productivity. More imports under this government than any other government. And this government collects more taxes than any other government. And we're importing more than all we export. And remember that brand Jamaica is something to talk about. Brand Jamaica is what people crave all over the world. They have not touched on the whole poverty rating, just as how we seen PIOJ came out and saying that poverty has cut by 50%, and they gave us a 2023 reading when the Prime Minister himself in his budget debate gave us a different figure. And with our census still being incompleted, I want to hear from all of you who are watching me on this live and who will come across this rebroadcast when the live has ended, to let me know if from 2022 that our census should have been started, if UNO are counted in the numbers. I want to know if enough census people come on the yard and count UNO in the census. But I want you to hear this clipping here from an interview from Portland Spice TV and another good economist, Ralston Hyman.
No, Ralston starting also said that they are going to release the census result. Did I get that clear?
Yeah, that's it. I want to say by September or something like that.
By September, they are going to release the census result. What do you make of that, Ralston?
Well, let's see. There's a whole done.
No, but we know that the census have not been completed.
Precisely. We don't see nobody else not see that in the census.
I have not been counted. So
nobody will come to me. Nobody will come to me neither. And nobody will be known either.
So tell me, that's why I'm asking you what you make of that announcement that they are going to release census figures.
That's about another con game, another bogus game. All of those institutions are losing credibility. Yeah, yes, that credibility of those institutions, we have to start checking them now, yeah, because the political interference, because we know of the controversy related to the census. We have no restarting of the census. We have no census take up on the road. I don't know what kind of thing. So, how do I release results?
That is a concern for me.
Yeah, but mostly a concern, man.
We spend
results of something that is not complete.
Did the government spend the entire $4 billion that was allocated for this?
And some people still get a pay and all of that stuff.
So you are saying that the entire $4 billion was spent?
Well, that they need to tell us. They need to tell us.
But the country have a serious trust deficit, Ralston.
Yeah, man.
We don't trust the leaders anymore.
Yeah, and you know what the problem now? First time you need to trust the leaders, you gotta trust the technicians. We don't trust the technicians anymore.
Why don't we trust the technicians anymore?
Because I want to see them now. Look what happened for PIOJ. Yeah, look what we see come up and start now. So it was first PIOJ trying to doctor to give them no session, 3.3, 0.8, and then it turned out 3 consecutive quarters of decline, which is more than a recession. Deeper than we think, 5.5, 2.4. Then starting comes down and said, we can't see the play. Starting comes down and said, boy, we have to release a number of shows that will come out of the recession. Again, starting 1.4, again, starting again, substance. Make sure to release a number of shows that will come out of the recession. And then starting to say, oh, by the way, what best way to do it is that we're going to release the base. Right?
No, continue, sorry about that.
What I think that we're going to do, we're going to change the base here, and then we're going to create some new sector. Yep. So that we get the,
All right. So
that looks good.
No, it cannot. It cannot.
That looks good.
Ralston, the PIOJ, PIOJ the name? Dr. Wayne.
Yeah, man.
They said to us that poverty was down to 8.2%. Have Statin said anything about poverty?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Isn't Statin the authority that is supposed to tell us we are poverty?
That is the authority for all other things, survey of living conditions and all other things.
So why is in this report Statin doesn't know about poverty?
That's what I said. And we can't say all poverty is being reduced and a lot of terms that what people work with. I make less money.
Hey, we are in a serious dilemma in Ralston.
When
When our leaders are willing to lie to the people, blatantly lie to the people of Jamaica. And then you have some people who just follow them blindly.
Precisely. And I'm saying to you, it's even worse when the technicians, the people who are supposed to argue with data-driven analyses, adapt the data to suit the political directorate.
Is it that they are afraid of the political directorate, thus really going down the road of a dictatorship? So the government
Yeah, but that's
tells
one
you,
reason.
the government
That's one
tells you
reason,
what
and
to
some of them are
release.
embedded.
Some of them are
Yeah,
card
man.
carrying.
Yeah, man. Some of them are embedded, man.
Now, Ralston Statin also said that they are going to release the census result. Did I get that clear?
Yeah, that them say. I want them say by September or something like that.
By September, they are going to release the census result. What do you make of that, Ralston?
Well, let's see. Let's have to wait and see.
No, but we know that the census have not been completed.
Precisely. We're not seeing nobody out in the field or doing the census. We're not
I
seeing no
have not
correction.
been counted. So
Nobody not come to me. Nobody not come to me neither. And nobody not go to nobody with me no neither.
So tell me, that's why I'm asking you what you make of that announcement that they are going to release census figures.
That's why I say another con game, another bogus game. All of those institutions are losing credibility. Yeah, you see that. Credibility of those institutions, we have to start check them now, because the political interference, because we know of the controversy related to the census. We know you have no restarting of the census. We don't see no census take up on the road and do no work and them things. So how them all release results?
That is a concern for me.
Yeah, but mostly a concern, man.
We spend
results of something.
So they are planning to come out with results of the population census that had started all the way back in 2022. And they're saying that they're coming with results this September. How can it be that they're coming with results and the census has not been completed? I personally heard of persons complaining who were census workers of not being paid. And so it seems to me that those were one of the issues why the census had not been completed. Big up yourself, Velma Hall. Big up to Danette Harriet. Big up Kev. Big up Pat W, my sis. Big up RTN. Serene Sue, Barbara Finlay, Navi. Dave Wedderburn, big up yourself. How can it be that them are going to come with results when the census is not completed? After $4 billion have been pumped into it. We would like to know from Statin if all of those money were fully used up. That's what we want to know. And anyone who have worked as a census worker can feel free to call the program and let us know if you were paid. Big up yourself, Steffi. We want to know. And then another question I want answer to. Do we know if there's another director appointed at the Statin? Because we learned that the former chairperson, Miss Carol Coy, had retired. So we want to know who is the head of Statin at this current moment. We would love to know. Because why is it that Statin, who would have been the correct entity to basically weigh in on the whole poverty rating, did not give a reading here in the first quarter? They did not say anything in the first quarter. But we have a PIOJ who it is said that all they do is, work the numbers on through a number system and they get they get a reading versus a statin who goes on the ground and should get accurate data. But even an economist right now is not buying the numbers that they have released since recently. And so we want to know. We want to know what kind of reading are they coming with this September for the population census. It's the first time in the history of census we have a census not being completed after almost 3 years. And by right, every 10 years, a population census must be undertaken. And under this government, after 10 years, they cannot complete our census. We don't know definitely how much persons are living within our country. And therefore, the figures, for me, could not be accurate when we cannot complete our census. Big up yourself, Mel's Reggae Kitchen. And right here, so, for me, is another ballot box issue. We can't accept this. There's nothing positive and strong about this 1.1% that they speak of in this first quarter. Nothing positive and strong about that, as the current finance minister is saying. I want to move on to the school bus saga that's taking place, and all of a sudden their favorite words are being spoken. Everybody bad mind, to the point now they're saying that Mark Golding is bad-minded. All the PNP are bad-minded over this 100 and odd used old buses rejected from the Americas. The Americas don't see them safe to carry their children, but our country has no problem in buying these buses to transport our children. I love them, love the children, them. I love them, love the children. Why them would I take up and do such an investment when these buses, and this is the reality, are gonna need a whole lot of maintenance. It's gonna take a whole lot more to pump into these buses to keep them sustained and to keep them maintained, to manage and to traverse the hilly terrains of these rural roads, the narrow rural roads and all of that. Right? And we see them bragging and boasting. And just to add, these are left-hand drive buses. And we know that Jamaica are right-hand. So I want to know, how will these buses let off our children? Are they going to let them off in the middle of the road? I don't know. So we have wholly more questions than answers. And all the answers that we can get when we ask questions, instead of them countering our questions with the truth, all they can counter our questions with is the word. Want somebody type in the word in the comment section. All them can counter our questions with is the word bad mind. Everybody bad mind. When all we simply want are answers. I also received some information that another Caribbean island buys these old buses from the Americas as well. But they have to change out the engines into truck engines in order for it to manage the hilly roads in that other Caribbean country. But we see our government right now planning to use these buses as is. And we are saying, as well-thinking Jamaicans who can work out the maths, and maths out the maths and say, boy, I better them did start with if I even 10 brand new buses. These buses as is, if another Caribbean country buys these same buses as well and have to change out the engines to truck engines to manage the hilly terrains of their country, we see our government planning to use these buses as is. And so we are saying, as is, they're not gonna work for any long period of time. They're not gonna last for any long period of time. And so, of course, we are for the rural bus system. Of course, we are for wanting our children to go to school. Nobody is saying that they're against a rural bus system. So I don't know why the small-minded people are trying to twist this and turn it into what it is not. This should not be a political thing. This should be about the safety of our children. Enough of them not going to school for the 5 days of week because of financial constraint and many other factors where their parents cannot find it to allow them to go to school every single day of the week. And so is this a good initiative to get the rural bus into the rural areas? Of course. Of course it is a good initiative. But with these old buses and as is, we know them not gonna last. We remember the used car deal for the police. We remember it. And that has not materialized. That has not materialized. And how much they gone down the drain. And we can't hear nothing about the used car them. Big up yourself, Judy. Some $400 million. And all that was done was it for them to move the man out of the cabinet. And a ballot box issues them there for uno. Well-thinking Jamaicans, aren't these ballot box issues?
Alright, we can get used to this.
You can get used to it.
Yeah. I'm cool with this. You're forward. You're so and this one.
First and foremost, big up check his stats, but him strong today. Check his stats now. Now back to the reasoning. Why the hell we talk about them bus here? Some people take offense. Is a boat in some country? You are the problem, you know.
I see the same Bandulu coming, corporate Mikhail, with this used school bus system that they're bringing in to children. And let me tell you something. I am a man, I don't like stray into other shadow ministers' lane, but I got permission from Mikhail this evening, because I hear that the Labourites and their apologies is like we stir up an ant's nest with the school bus remark. So I want to deal with it here tonight. Yes, I raised the alarm and one, so we don't want to kill off poor people picking with some old bus. And I make no apology for that. And let me just give you some background. These buses that they're bringing in, these are not pre-owned vehicles. These are retired old buses. Many are over 10 to 15 year old with hundreds of thousands of miles on the clock. So when I sound the alarm, me not care what the Labourites say or who they say we are. These were pulled out of circulation in the US because they were either not considered safe enough for American children or were too inefficient. No, these were primarily used in cities with flat streets and wide lanes. Now imagine you bring those old buses to Manchester, to Trelawney, to the hills of Clarendon, to the hills of St. Elizabeth. These buses were not built for this terrain when they were new, much less when they're 10 and 15 years old with hundreds of thousands of miles. I am balling out. I am saying, me no care who want vex. I wouldn't put my child on that old bus. On these hilly terrains, these pothole roads with hairpin turns in Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, all the hilly parishes. We wouldn't do it. And with that long overhang, I can tell you there are places it cannot even go because it's going bottom out. It's going bottom out. It can't go up the entrance to Prattville Primary. Cannot. This issue of the safety of our children should not be a political debate.
I agree. It should not be a political debate any at all. And Serene says if we can't question how our tax dollars is being spent, then it is only fair to refrain from paying taxes. I may agree with that as well. Big up yourself, Pastor Ricky. Big up Beverly Lindo. If we're not good enough for question them, then we're not good enough for paying the taxes any at all. Because I don't understand with the small-minded people them if them feel like a for them alone in the country a pay tax. That's what I'm wondering. Anybody seen the CARICOM meeting that took place, I believe, a day ago or on Sunday? And Andrew Holness is now the chairman of the CARICOM. And I seen him release a statement yesterday. He's also appointed to Her Majesty's Privy Council. And I seen him release a statement yesterday. And it says, today we witnessed a significant moment in Caribbean judicial history with the swearing in of the Honorable Mr. Justice Winston Anderson as the fourth president of the Caribbean Court of Justice, that's the CCJ, where them been around from all this time. Justice Anderson is a distinguished jurist whose scholarship, integrity, and service have shaped the legal landscape across the region. He has served on the CCJ bench since June 2010 and is both the youngest ever and the first Jamaican judge appointed to the court. His appointment marks a proud moment for Jamaica and the wider Caribbean legal fraternity. As we usher in this new presidency, let us embrace the next 20 years with confidence, shared ownership, and an unwavering belief in the CCJ as a cornerstone of Caribbean integration and development. Jamaica remains fully committed to the ideals of regional legal cooperation and to strengthening the institutions that uphold justice across the Caribbean community. We believe that the Caribbean Court of Justice under this new leadership will continue to inspire confidence, protect rights, and shape a region where justice is accessible. Ima said that, and back even in 2024, an article here states, Wholeness confirms JLP dead set against CCJ, wants local apex court. The JLP dead set against the CCJ. So how him come now and praise up CCJ when him still want to get us into republic, but them still want to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They still want to retain the Privy Council as the final appellate court. And with them moving so speedily ahead with this constitution reform, them don't even care if we have a say in it. Them don't even care if the opposition have a say in it. But then again, didn't he make a statement that they don't need any opposition to hold them accountable? Their own people will hold them accountable. So it seems to me then that, he's just a prime minister and a government for the Jamaica Labour Party supporters. That's what I got from it. And so, him want have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but yet still he's coming to praise a judge who was appointed on the CCJ. That makes sense too, no? That don't make no sense at all. But let me read. Jamaica's well-known efforts and ambitions to become a republic appear to be on course for failure after the Jamaica Labour Party this week reiterated its long-held opposition to the Trinidad-based Caribbean Court of Justice, suggesting instead that a local apex court be established on Jamaican soil. Uno would I support a Jamaican apex court when the people them don't have any faith and trust in this government, let alone in the judiciary? We seen what took place with the Maria Dean saga. After the man was basically taken up by police for what they alleged to be a spliff. Later on, he was beaten and killed in a cell. No justice after, I believe, 11 long years. Only for the 3 officers who they charged with manslaughter, I believe, basically got suspended sentencing. So them basically free for go at the yard. Him want to come propose to us of a final court being in Jamaica. Let me continue. Prime Minister Andrew Holness dropped this political and constitutional bombshell on a radio show as he prepared the Jamaica Labour Party for the protracted but probably self-defeating fight with the main opposition People's National Party. The PNP has unapologetically tied its parliamentary support for changes to the constitution to allow for Jamaica to become a republic to the island signing on to the CCJ and abandoning the British Privy Council as its final appeals court. A 2/3 vote in Parliament, in addition to a referendum are needed for the switch to a republic, among other changes. Opposition leader Mark Golding has repeatedly in recent days drawn a political line in the sand on republicanism, saying that the plan by the JLP for the island to become a republic while keeping the British court was disingenuous, as the country must make a clean break with the British monarch or remain as it is, an independent country with the British king as its head of state and while bewigged law lords sitting as appeal judges. The JLP has said it will deal with a final court in phase 2 of the constitution reform, and with them paying some $4.5 million per month to rent a venue to speak on these issues. God bless the few little town hall that they say they have, but yet still they have completed the first phase, so to speak, and we still don't hear of them putting in the impeachment law in this reform constitution. And there are many things that the opposition had proposed that they don't put in this reform, but they're going to deal with it in second phase. We cannot trust them to deal with nothing in no second phase. Isn't this another ballot box issue? Why should we go republic and still want to keep the Privy Council as our final court of appeal? How much people can afford to go to the Privy Council? How much people can afford lawyers to represent them on that level? So we see a man of unsound mind being locked away for 50 years without getting a trial date. He was accused of committing a murder. And from back in the 70s come right up, he was denied a trial date. He was not given a trial date. And kudos to humanitarian lawyers as a Isaac Buchanan, who was asked to represent him via a human rights group. And today, that man who is supposed to be 76 years old is $120 million richer, or $120 million rich. We can't trust them to have no final court in Jamaica. We are a part of the CARICOM. Why can't the final court be CCJ? What is it that this man is so against the CCJ? But I want to play a small clip in here from the Barbados Prime Minister, Miss Motley. And trust me, this is an exemplary leader.
And I say so conscious that over the course of these 7 years, our community has perhaps seen more challenges than we have ever seen since attaining independence. Indeed, some may argue more challenges than we have ever seen since the famous September 1947 Montego Bay Conference, which called for a regional integration movement such as we have to be able to allow us to more effectively navigate our development journey. We live in a very different world from 1947. But if ever there was a time for regional solidarity, it is absolutely now. And Secretary General, I thank you for outlining some of the concerns that we face. When I addressed the heads of government meeting in Barbados a few months ago, I made the point that this was a time for us to lay bare our hearts
and to be able to speak frankly to build the institution that we want. I note that immediately as I finish speaking, there is going to be a song from Ramon Watson, from that great Caribbean icon, Jimmy Cliff. And the song that they've chosen is That I Can See Clearly Now. But I wouldn't mind if they added to that not just the power of vision, because I think across this region we have that, but the power of trial and effort. And there is no better song. I call myself, in fact, a Jimmy Cliff girl. There is no better song than You Can Get It If You Really Want, but you must try and try. You'll succeed at last. It is against that backdrop that I ask us to reflect on a few things today. We met and understood that our region, like every other region across the world, is suffering from the vicissitudes of cost of living issues that are making it more difficult for ordinary Caribbean people to make each day and to go through each day and night. And the question for us as heads of government and heads of state is, how do we make it easier for people to sleep? And how do we allow them to be able to undertake that task of taking care of themselves and their families in the most easy of ways, in spite of what has been triggered globally through geopolitical issues and wars and conflict and disruption supplies? We have determined that our agricultural commitment, 25 by 25, even if we have not met it fully, has put us in a better place than we were 5 years ago. But what we must not do is to stop, because if we try and try again, we'll succeed at last.
If we try and try again, we will succeed at last. Why should we continue with this man here, who it is said has the ugliest political record? The oldest two-term administration sets the record for the most scandalous top-level resignation and dismissal. Do we want to continue with a government where we elect them to work on our behalf and all we can hear, we can't get no information and bad word, indecent language to our people? Why should we continue with a man who is said to be under investigation for illicit enrichment? Why should we continue with a man whose statutory declaration is not certified by the Integrity Commission, that states under the law that the Prime Minister and the opposition leader statutory declaration must be certified and gazetted? Why should we continue with a man who, according to the Integrity Commission, used charity funds to buy personal assets? Why should we continue with a man who others under his watch are under investigation for illicit enrichment, and they refuse to let us know? So why should we go into a general election and vote blindly? After all, they're saying that we must close our eyes to all the issues under this administration. We must close our eyes to all the issues under this government, and we must put our X. Why must we vote for this administration with so much scandal of corruption. We are still unaware of who owns Meditech. And up until this day, according to a release I seen from Zara Burton, a sitting MP, Williams, is still listed as a shareholder. He's still listed as a shareholder. We've seen Meditech being granted another recertification for another 3 years to conduct business with the government. What can go so? Why should we continue with this government who has not built a school in approximately 1 decade of being the leader? Why should we? Would you want somebody who is not medically trained to look after you or to do a surgery on you? Bless up yourself, stay tight. Bless up Orlando. Big up Michelle, Celine, Maureen, Vassal, big up yourself. Would you want someone who is not a surgeon to perform a surgery on you? So why must we continue with this man who is uncertified for approximately 4 years now? Corruption under his watch has escalated. 66% of our population, or 66%, believe that this is the most corrupt administration ever. 58% saying that the country is going in the wrong direction. So if we wouldn't allow someone who is not medically trained, a trained surgeon, to do a surgery on us, why should we allow him to continue in our parliament? When it seems as if we the people has no say. Why? ABR family and viewers, I'm about to open the phone lines. Sharon, the WhatsApp number is pinned at the top of the chat, so you can get it right there. Anybody wants to chime in on all that was said in this live video? Anybody wants to say anything to come and add some more ballot box issues why we must reject this government going into the general election? Big up yourself, Garrick Wilson. The number to call is 954-288-6467. WhatsApp only. I really want to hear from you. Blessed morning, my caller. You live?
Good morning, good morning.
Yeah.
Because I never matter of the CCJ. Andrew is that they are hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Look at the man that they call a British citizen. Soccer, right? He should be the one that is holding on to the Privy Council. Because it is in. He should be the one doing that, right?
True.
No, the man that is a Jamaican is holding on to Britain. He should be called Andrew British.
Yes.
Because he wanted to hold on to the CCJ, the Privy Council.
The Privy Council, yeah.
And at the same time, he want the final court to be in Jamaica. Can you imagine if that is the case? Can you imagine the appointment of the judges on that final court bench?
My God.
Can you imagine those appointments? look at if you want to have an idea, look at Dennis Trump.
Yes.
We would see judges that are closely aligned, and because he cannot manipulate the CCJ system, that's why he want the final one to be in Jamaica. And then come out and make such a glowing statement about the Jamaican that is on the CCJ bed. He's a damn hypocrite.
When him know say he's not for them take a stance against the CCJ. Can you imagine?
And people need to remember that it was that same stance that gave Arthur Williams and Christopher Tufton and dated resignation letter, because if they ever vote for the CCJ, they are out. Remember, that was the same thing that caused those letters to be drafted, you know. When Tufton and Arthur Williams were senators, you know. But them, all his senators should vote against the CCJ, you know. And because Arthur Williams and Tufton was two that somewhat cannot be, I think him never know their loyalties. And him draft and they said resignation letter for them. Yeah. And the matter of the school bus, you know, I am assuming that you are here in the States, right?
Yeah.
And driving behind those buses, you realize that they would normally put out the stop sign. Vehicle coming in every direction will have to stop.
Yeah.
Are we such a disciplined society for those school buses to stop and traffic on either side stop?
Good question.
Another thing, the Car Dealership Association of Jamaica should be fuming. Can they carry in a 15-year-old vehicle in Jamaica?
Nope. I got a call yesterday and a lady said her son was trying to send a 10-year-old vehicle in Jamaica and he was rejected to say that So why is it then that the government can bring in such old vehicles and nothing?
That is my point, because as ordinary Jamaican, can you go on Auto Japan or STB Japan to order a vehicle over 10-year-old? We can't. And their reason for that, you know, for them law, the structural integrity of the vehicle compromise after 10 years, and they don't want an old vehicle in the country. And you go against that. And what I think about those buses, you know, those are all diesel engines that emit a lot of carbon in the atmosphere. You know, they're moving away from, you know, those type of engines that emit so much carbon.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons them out, and some of them out of the fleet, you know, and they need specialized mechanic too. So I guess the mechanic them out of ferry, the Chinese will be getting those works too. So but imagine those bus going down Spur Tree Hill, coming up Spur Tree, going down Penn Hill, coming up Penn Hill. I don't think they can deal with that rigor of the terrain of Jamaica.
Then it may say. And that's why I raised the point that other Caribbean countries purchase these old buses too, but then they buy truck engines to put in them to manage for them hilly roads. So they want to use these buses in Jamaica as is. It's not gonna last. And
when the Japanese government have good relationship, you know, so why them never try getting some Toyota Coaster buses that are more suitable for our terrain, more suitable for our climate. And the next thing with those overseas buses, you know, the metal will make them, you know, they are compromised, you know, because a lot of salt thrown on the road during snow time, you know, to melt the snow. A lot of those buses are exposed to the elements, the high salt content, erode the quality of metal. So there are some other factors to put into that as well.
True.
Yeah, a lot of time I see them salt in the road, and I know it is not good for metal. It erodes metals quickly.
Take a rust, yeah.
And you mentioned something about the bus being left-hand drive and opening on the right. Are they going to hire some people to help the kids to cross the street?
I said more questions than answers.
Pull it out my little third grader, second grader, on the right side, which would be in the middle of the road with no one to help. such a little child cross the street, it's very risky. And plus, no, the motorists will not stop behind those buses or in front of those buses. They're not that disciplined.
I agree.
So they need to think this thing twice, and we need to see the procurement procedure of these buses, because I know a lot of kickbacks given off of these contractions. Yeah, man, we need to see the procurement procedures. Yeah, because everything with this government is transactional. And also in his speech, I hear him talk about him a bid for 80.
Yes, I saw that yesterday.
And remember, Andrew is a transactional government, So all he needs is for US to give him some money so he can deploy soldiers and police over there. Me and Motley is talking about regional integration and opening up markets to Africa and the whole travel process.
Yeah.
Him come at talk about 80 and all sort of foolishness. And I hear Labourites celebrating Andrew being the chairman of CARICOM. It's not an elected process. It's not an elected process. If it was, him couldn't see that position, not in a million years. It's just like you're in a round robin, and it's just your turn. It's just your turn.
I just your turn. Forget your job.
It's not elected. There is nothing significant about him getting that. Anybody at the helm would get it. It's just Jamaican turn.
Yeah, true. Yeah, definitely so. Yeah.
So don't think that is because he's a cut above the rest of Caribbean leaders. And no, it wasn't the elected position, folks. Yeah, those are my 2 cents.
All right, thank you, my brother. Thanks for calling. Bless up yourself. Blessings to Pastor Ricky. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Arlene From, big up yourself, Mrs. Martha Couponing Foundation. People, that's a charity foundation. Please to support on YouTube. It's called Martha's Couponing Foundation. They send barrel to assist children back in Jamaica. All you have to do is just subscribe, like up the videos, them support the channel in order for them to continue their charity. Big up yourself, Leslie, Sharon Bernard, Herman. Big up Born Again. Blessed morning. You're live on the ABR.
Blessings and honor, Lady ABR, and all the ABRites in the chat.
In the chat.
God bless you.
Blessings.
Yeah. God bless you. Well, one of the things a lot of people don't know is that the criminal prime minister pledges allegiance to the Queen Privy Council back in July 2021. It's her Privy Council is not the same as the Privy Council courts, the court for a lawyer or a judge, but her Privy Council is when they pledge secrecy to carry news to the Queen and keep secrets for her, and share information with her. But since she died, it's now the King's Privy Council. Rattigan had wrote to the King's Privy Council to tell them to take him off of it and identify some of his criminalities and financial crimes as it outlines in the IC report. So he's accusing Comrade leader Mark Golden for having 1 foot in England and 1 foot in Jamaica. But the truth of the matter is he's the one.
With 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
The one that has one. Exactly, because he pledges allegiance. You can Google it. It's online. Everybody can go research it. In the summer of 2021, he pledges allegiance to the Queen's Privy Council, and this is why he doesn't want to break away from the monarchy. He want and go to the CCJ. He wants to stay connected to colonialism, and so as we see it's happening now. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting a call. 1 second. I'm so sorry.
No problem. Go ahead. Blessed morning, caller. You live?
Blessed good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, blessed to your listeners as well and viewers. Anita, I'm trying to speak out on this government and how they are very unconscionable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see what they always do? They have a track record of raising the bar so high for poor people to find it hard to reach. They take it out of their reach.
Mm-hmm.
And they lower the bar for who they want to lower it for. For some ways, it's either to vindicate them from their crime, which they have committed, or otherwise be their cronies so they can, rob and steal the country. Now, when I look on the Airbnb that they want to impose taxes on, don't get me wrong, I'm for regulation.
Mm-hmm.
But this government does not have a track record of doing nothing to help the poor people. They don't. So for them to come and start to want to regulate this Airbnb system that shouldn't be their call. Now, they are talking about the 30% that the Airbnb is getting. I don't think the Airbnb need to put one dime more in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the hoteliers already operated in Jamaica without paying taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the
Chinese,
they don't pay taxes. They get only the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
So why should they come and want to jump from here and want to tax Airbnb? That is just started to be up and off the legs for not even no period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would you want to go there? No, look at the craft vendors to show you how much they push the bar where it's unreachable. They are keeping a convention to settle and regulate the craft system in Jamaica. Would you know where they keep that convention? Show you how far they keep it out of the reach of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know where they keep that convention?
Tell us.
It's in Florida.
Mm.
How many people in Jamaica, craft vendor, can go to Florida to see that convention? How many of them can set representation there to represent them? They didn't have a representation there.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody went there to represent the craft vendors. So you know who attend? The hoteliers, the Indians that have their craft markets on the Jimmy Cliff Highway and Jimmy Cliff Boulevard in the hotels.
Well, you know, see the craft vendors there. You know, see the craft vendors them a ball.
Right, because those are the people who are able to go to that convention, the Indians, and who have the Emban stores and all those stores. So when they come back, everything was set that when a ship comes in, ship doesn't stop at the craft market, it goes straight to the Indian store. That's how it is set. So why now they want to, just to show you how far they try to set the bar so the normal people can reach it. So now you see they want to come with the same thing again they want to regularize this Airbnb is the same thing they want to do. They want to set it out of the reach of the normal people. And they won't be able to have a representation either. So this is my takes on that.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling. Same to you. Blessings.
Yes.
So on the matter of the buses, I see Donovan Morgan saying, I guess you weren't listening, the buses are going to be retrofitted. So even if the buses are going to be retrofitted, my question to you, Donovan, you think that this is a good investment for these all rejected buses, rejected by the Americas, for our government to invest in so much of them, 110 of them? Let us see who will get the contract to retrofit all those buses, and let us see how long those buses will last. Anybody else wants to chime in? Big up yourself, Sonia Newman Smith. Colin, bless up yourself. Anybody else wants to chime in with me, you know, say? So what that caller was basically saying just now is that basically them a try to kick the Airbnb personnel them out of the space. Want to redirect all the tourists and the whole pull from the tourism to the hoteliers them where them friends them. I guess them probably I get some kickback from there. So anything for look out for them, friend. Bless up yourself, Maple. Herman, big up yourself. My God. Herman, you know, easy. Herman said nothing named my God is ever good. Mighty God. My God, I'll put them a vibe to the music. And so I want to read out a comment that I got on one of my videos. I posted a video, I believe, last year where we have a sitting MP, Everall Warmington, basically calling the PNP caretaker at the time, Colin Bell, grass, flea, chink and fry, and who invite him on tour with him and whatnot. And someone commented on the video and says, leave Warmington alone. We love him always. Vote for him so you all can talk. None of you can stop Warmy. So work with it. And a Stockholm syndrome this. Leave Warmington alone so Warmington can call them anything. Grass, flea, chink and fly. Lock on a F in the eye. And put on a X. We don't care what kind of disgruntlement you want to have. These are the people and we constantly continue. These are the people who is also a threat to our democracy and a threat to the future of our children and grandchildren. Because when we have some big grown people like these supporting a man, the man can boast say he has done 7 terms. And this is the response of the people. Leave Warmington alone. I wonder what trouble him. Leave Warmington alone. We love him always. Vote for him. So you all can talk. None of you can stop Warmy. So work with it. My God. Then when we hear say 70% of our students them in a one particular high school and possibly many other high schools across the island. 70% of them cannot read or write. If they're even reading, they're reading at a grade 3 level. Then them adults here will come and support all of them slackness here. Them will come support all of them slackness here. You know, since them a part of the problem. They are not a part of the solution. Big up yourself, Direct Garden. And him a go piss in a pipe and give them water. Mighty God. Fully done. You son ya? Them fully done. I could not believe when I saw this comment. All I had to say was, my God, Stockholm Syndrome. The man a call people grass, flea, chink and fly. And this person's response to leave Warmington alone. Warmington know ya? You gonna tell we say we for leave Warmington alone and Warmington don't know you and recognize you. Una always vote for him. Then that's why I wanna part of the problem in our country. I wanna make the younger generation them stay so because them live what them learn and them see una fully done and constantly voting for these type of people. We don't respect We no respect nothing about you. We no count you. All them want is just to vote. And when you have somebody where show them honor. Show same full of integrity. Him walk the walk and talk the talk. See me at the integrity boss on the screen. You no want integrity. You no want accountability. Blessed morning, my caller. You're live. Talk up the things them.
Blessed, my sister. Blessed. Bless up.
Yeah.
I giving thanks for your work, Giving thanks for your work. And all the bloggers just who hold the thing, who just keep the faith going. Because, things will always happen, Always. So we don't have to worry. Because so in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Yes. Because if we run back on this little memory about fear, Okay, if God never used death and strike fear, he wouldn't free the people, Yeah, he have used death to strike him.
True.
And wake him up so that he could free the people. So you have some of them people in Jamaica, where they are just evil, straight evil.
Straight evil.
Good not them.
Mighty God.
They're straight evil. When you see them, you see evil.
My God. Actually,
So you have to just open your eyes to see them. Because they speak evil, they sleep evil, they eat evil.
From their head to them two are evil.
Anything in Jamaica say they love Labourite party. Then they are not straight evil them.
Mighty God.
Them just a pretend. Yes, just pretend. Because you know what? It's like we have these three power, eat, air, and water.
Yeah.
With the three of them combined together, It's a very destructive force, Very much. So it's these people have this present day and this current government. They are so evil that they can't even see past them big toe.
My gosh.
Not even passing big toe, but the time is very near for them. In the twinkling of an eye, they just gone with the snap of a finger. They're gone. No more to be seen or to be heard because they are so evil. It's just time. The time. I don't know who can ever beat time. It was such a great word to use.
None of us can beat time. We can't do more than with time. None of it.
My sister, nothing beat time.
True.
And if them want to pretend as if them good and they evil, go on to them. You know what me cross about the church people then? These church people who sitting down and just pushing out them head like a turkey out of a bush, looking and hide them whole body and then little head them push you out from the bush and look and see the evil that's going on and none of them are speaking. Just like Pastor Richard and Pastor Ricketts and those type of
one and few of them, yeah.
Really saying something, against them, Yeah, but the most of them not speaking nothing proper, nothing good against this evil government.
My God.
They're taking up for this criminal government. And to all this, you always listen to the good people, You listen to all of the people who are striking, And when God strike you, I go like it. I see him yesterday, I step like say my muggle. In favor, I don't know in favor, say my walk up to podium to figure talk.
I'm muggler.
I walk like say my muggle. Yeah, the highway model. I saw him step up and with the end two and them cock off him side.
I'm muggler.
Yeah, I'm muggler. Find out walk another way, but like a mug when muggler up and run with a walk.
A cha-cha man. My God.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see him. But in time is very near.
Yeah.
Yes, my sister. Just keep up your good work.
Bless up yourself, brother. Thanks for the continued support. Big up.
Blessed sister.
Man say my step like Magla. My God. What can go so? Big up yourself, Philip. Blessed morning, Macaulay, live.
Blessed morning.
Big up yourself, live with Tan.
Yeah. All right. My first argument, the bus, left-hand drive vehicle are not, what I call it now, suitable for Jamaican road, especially that big. And let me tell you this, and anybody can drive left-hand drive vehicle in Jamaica, especially big unit. the tail swing, and everything is on the opposite of what you used to do.
Yeah.
Everything is in the opposite. So that driver have to be so focused. And as the buses are so old, those hill in Jamaica and be hill in because them buses have built run by hill and them buses built run by flat.
True.
So the bus them not cut it, them not gonna make it. The people them done it show you so much defects the bus them up already, and they never reach when them start about having an accident already on the road already. So these bus not gonna work out. No time at all in Jamaica. The better demand them, as you say, just start small.
Yeah.
I said, we're gonna buy 10 or we're gonna buy 5 new bus. We're gonna put 2 years and 2 years and then we're gonna parish by parish.
Yeah.
And below.
But expand,
it don't make no sense to buy 100 bus and the 100 bus can't make one.
Mighty God.
That doesn't make sense. That's just a waste of taxpayer money. But as you can see, it's like the kickback them get to them friends to carry the buses. Because how can you want to bring in such old bus? I mean, can't bet you said the drivers, then his pitting, and his grandpitting, and his close relative now drive on those bus. You know, Peter Bunting said him now make film pit the drive on it. So why you want poor people to drive on it? One bus, one them bus there. It don't make no sense. Man, we need the buses not gonna work out in Jamaica. No time at all, man. No time at all. It's a silent grave they might get to with children them.
My God, silent grave.
Yeah, man, silent grave, man. Bus to them for Jamaica, man. They're not talking about Jamaican road, man. Never. First of all, those buses are broader than a normal bus.
Yeah.
They're broader than a normal passenger bus. And when the bus them park, when the bus them stop, you're gonna have the kids them in the road. And we have so much mad driving in Jamaica.
That's what the first caller was saying. If the Jamaican drivers are disciplined enough, because once they stop here, all other vehicles has to stop behind it, you know.
Yeah. So remember, it's even worse now. The door of those buses, you know, would be on the street, you know. The driver would be
true.
So everything was being the opposite. Now that driver, you know, I drive a left-hand vehicle, you know, and more time, you know, for you to even see certain kind, you know, sometimes you have to be patient, sometimes you have to drive if you have a passenger in the vehicle at the front to look until if that side is clear, you can't move, you know.
Oh, what you say?
Listen to me, man. Why you think they have 2 drivers at the first one? Why you think they have 2 persons at the first bus?
Oh.
Because the driver cannot see around certain corner, certain corner to make certain turn. You have to look. Somebody have to look and tell him he can't go ahead.
See, I never even know that part of it. My gosh.
What? So why do you think they have to employ putting 2 persons in the front? Yeah, because there's somebody that feel like a doctor to direct the next
and then someone was asking, are they gonna get cross guards to accompany the pitting them off of the bus and bring them across the street?
Look here, no man. Look here. This is all just a political scam.
My God.
Alright. Listen to me. I can bet you any given dollar, those buses can never ever carry American kids go to school back again. After them do them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying we're not rich like America. And these buses are buses that are true and finished, done with. Them lifespan what the work them supposed to do.
Them buses they have just to put on for parts, I believe.
Yeah. Why are you gonna take one man garbage? Where you are gonna take one next man garbage?
My gosh.
You understand what I said to you? So them can't pay one, them have a second driver in the bus. our observer, our observer at the bus with the driver, who have to give the driver certain guidance when he's driving. And
so no more money that from the tax coffers. So them have to go pay possibly cross guard. Them have to go retrofit as somebody saying in the comments there. Them have to go have somebody else an assistant. So me I wonder what their pay they're gonna look like.
Alright, remember you know. That driver I forgot back to learn to drive back again. To go learn to drive that left hand vehicle, you know.
What you say?
They're not totally different type of driving. Remember saying we drive on the left, you know. And our vehicle are right hand drive is suitable for us.
Yeah.
You understand what I said to you?
Yeah.
When you drive, you understand what I said to you?
Mm-hmm.
So remember, you know, the steering is gonna be the opposite of where you used to be, you know.
Yes, man, you understand that. Mm-hmm.
Right. And you're gonna drive, you are gonna on the opposite side, you're gonna out to where you can't have a guy. Remember, everything is different.
Yeah.
The indicator is different, the gear shifter is different, everything is different. Everything is the opposite of what you used to do.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to train yourself all of it, you have to train your mind all over back again. My
God. Hey!
It's a different scenario with that driving. It's a totally different
Big up yourself, Philip. Philip says we are in big trouble.
Yeah, man, I serious trouble. They're not a joke thing. Them have to take these drivers back to school. I say kids here driving and I say that I got like a car, you know. It's a bus here driving, you know.
Yeah.
Ask anybody about the line, ask anybody, you have a train of mind, you have got train of mind different. I remember so when these buses stop, they're going to open to the road. No, you have got somebody you know, to stop the vehicle, they're going to go the opposite and the other direction that the bus is coming, when the bus stop, so they can let out the kids.
Mm-hmm. Life with Tan say I want one of them to make a kitchen to cook. Mighty God. I'll station it one place. Start
yeah, I got them good for now. I got most people do with them now.
I got them good for. Yeah? Scrap metal. Merlin, big up yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know why you are going to take this idea when you're going to drive. You're going to come with a left-hand drive vehicle to carry our kids to school. You can't let them fit in a road.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? All right. I don't know if you've ever been to a school and see how kids like from 6, 12, 10-year-old is so unruly. I don't know. Trust me, I lift my hat to teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Believe you me. I am home one day. Babysitting 3 nieces. One is 5, one is 10, and one is 13. I'm going to tell you something. When me done, man, me have headache, me sick. When done, me sick.
Mm-hmm.
Me sick, the thread them sick me. So can you imagine a teacher have to have like 20 and 30 of these kids in a one classroom?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just there for one day we trade them. I'm tell my sister, them said, no way on my knees. No one can see them pick them again.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever again.
My God. Try them nearly mad, yo.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen to me, no, man.
Mm-hmm.
I say, and then you can imagine, you have, I met us at 3 girl children, you know. Can you imagine now you have boys who more promiscuous than girl and more harder to control, and you are stop a bus now, with them ever come out of the bus. Some of them go on to them one thing.
Mm-hmm. My God. Hey.
Some of them go at the bus stop, some of them go run off at the bus.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is not properly planned, sort out, and deal with. And here it's all about competing with what the PMP said. And if you just work with the PMP said,
that is it.
At least you're uplifting the poor man life. Because you're not going to look for the worst taxi man. Any taxi man you're going to make sure them antecedent, make sure they're not a pedophile, make sure they're not you understand what I said to you?
Definitely so, yeah. So you want the best of the best.
You want the best. You don't do due diligence. You don't check out this accident. How free can you have if you have an accident?
How long them a drive for? You know?
Yeah,
experience.
Experience. You're going to do a due diligence check, as them say. So, me not see why you're going to come in with this old bus and then you're going to cost taxpayer more money to buy gas plus to maintain these buses.
Yeah, them are going to order for maintain it. In my opinion, it seems like it's a whole heap of money and work in all of these buses. It not cut. It is not a good investment, and that's my opinion.
Then a most bad investment. Let me show you how these people are and how dumb they are. So they are blind. That's what I tell you all the while. They are analog government. They're not computerized. Instead of you try to go forward, you're heading backward. That's why them take our education system from 88.8% to 18%. They are going backward. They don't want to go forward. Now, how can you in the year 2025, I go buy 2012 bus, 2010 bus, and all those 10 and 15-year-old bus, 2010, 2015 bus. Where do them all bus? We carry school kids. No, you buy the. You better listen to me. Listen to me. My mother always tell me say half of bread is better than none. So if a man give me a full bread with John Joe, you better make half a bread without a John Joe. We can eat.
Makes sense.
But by the time maybe can find one slice of the John Joe, by the time we don't see that John Joe on the bread. I mean, we can't. You know, you're going to take a bread, but they can't go there. Because they can't tell us. I can't tell you. I am guaranteed there's a couple of those buses will never touch Jamaica Road. Because of the fix. Some of those buses would never touch the road because of the fix. I am sure of that. They're going to use some of them as parts, fix up some of them.
Somebody say a scrap metal them.
Yeah, man. You don't want to think, man, a bad investment, man. Bad investment, man. But you want to know, a blind, you know. Him blind, and him a lead. Him expect the whole country to be blind, and you can't question them. When you have a government, you cannot question them because of arrogance. You can't question them. You don't, everything you question them, say a bad mind. What kind of government is this? The people can't answer nothing, you say them bad mind. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. The people can't say a question, they say them bad mind. Remember saying that all money I spend, you know, we pay tax to build the country, you know. And without our taxpayer money, you can't do it, you do. Our money buy the buses, not your money, you're going to pocket and buy the buses, you know.
The small mind people them behave as if out of the Prime Minister pocket him take the money. So I see them behave.
Yeah, so I said this is a bad investment and the country should reject it, man. Reject them, man. And I'm going to tell these people them, do not send your kids on those buses, especially if you have illiterate to deal with.
Then in a rural area, they of course you're gonna have illiterate.
So do not send your kids in those buses because I am sure those drivers should go back to get be certified to drive those vehicles.
They must go reprogram their mind and know say everything up on the opposite side.
Are we certified? Is that a joking matter? Is that a joking matter, you know? Just ask anybody if think it's not again. Just do your diligence check and ask anybody if I'm lying. Anybody who is even a truck driver who drive a left-hand drive truck, ask them if that's a totally different job than driving a right-hand drive truck. That's totally different. Totally different driving. You have to know if the cannon is different, totally different of the cannon, and everything is totally different. The tail swing is different, everything is different.
Okay.
Everything is the opposite. Everything is the opposite of what you do.
Time come, brother.
Yeah, man, time come, man. We need to go with the vision, man. Can't have blind people that lead the country, man. Real blind, dopey bat, dumb, idiot them. From the finance minister to the education minister to the minister of misinformation and the whole of them. Time come, man. We need changes, man. We need better governance in this country, man. And we are, when I make sense, we sit down and act like, say, boy, these men are doing a good job, are doing a great job. These men are running the country into a wall and into a wreck and putting us backward instead of going forward. Look at even the carry come yesterday. If I don't know if nobody listen to the Prime Minister, all I'm talking about is 80. In the talk about the Caribbean and develop, and you hear what the Barbados Prime Minister come out and speak. She sound like a shady, like she and the chairman for CARICOM, one of our Prime Minister.
And she left from.
She, if you listen to Fear speech and listen to speech, him sound like a little idiot. All can't tell you about 80. He must say make a bag of money for 80.
My gosh.
Him don't talk about one thing to uplift the whole region and make the whole region more united. How we going to do for unite the whole region?
I hear team I talk about.
I hear team I talk about.
Hey.
But true, US must see a give money for go hear team just in the Yeah, man, we need good governance now, man. Time come now, man. Time come. And Jamaica people, we cannot and we must not make no mistake and keep this government in power. Because we think we see nothing yet. Just remember, man. When I say no damn dog, remember me gonna tell us that dog gonna start damn dog down here. Remember me telling you.
My God.
Alright.
Bless up yourself. Bless up yourself, my brother. Thanks for calling. Big up. My God. That was a mouthful there, so from that caller. Say the drivers, them have to go reprogram their mind. Everything will be on the opposite side of all these buses. So let us see how all of this rodeo will play out. Bless up yourself, Dalphy. Don Augustus, big up yourself. Don says we must use the old bus them as container homes. I don't them they carry them they're too small for container house. Sis Pat W says them good to make foul coop. Kimon says food truck. Oh God, big up yourself, Jenny Taylor. And the same thing, life with Tan say. She want one for turning her food truck. My God. Somebody say we have to reverse the curse. We have to reverse this one here. Hold on, little.
Where they come from, cinema, every evil, anywhere they come from, cinema, if a China, if a Jamaica, if a Haiti, where they come from, we say cinema, reverse the curse, reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Somebody said, reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Somebody, reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Oh, what a God. Reverse the curse, mighty God. Reverse the order. If a king souls, if a God host, if a the prime minister.
Send it back, send it back. My God. Send it back, send it back. ABR family and viewers. Anybody else wants to give me the last call? The number is on the top of the chat. 954-288-6467. WhatsApp only. Please to like up the live and share out the live. Missy T, big up yourself. Mrs. Informing all of you to go out and vote. Go out and vote. Big up yourself, George Beckford. You be comrade. Big up yourself. We're seeing them talking of some 25 million for, debate leading up to this general election. Them a talk about debate and them still not announce the date. Time come. Big up yourself, Rising Sun. Big up yourself, Gibraltar. Time come, the people are ready to go to the polls.
You're going to hear all kinds of propaganda. You're going to hear all kinds of lies and deception. There are the tactics used to try and buy you out. There are the tactics used to try and frighten you away. And I only have to say one thing to you tonight, comrades. We are blood and fire comrades, and we're marching on to progress. And we will stand firm. We will not be bought because we are not for sale.
We are not for sale. And remember, the word is and will always be love. As the Rastaman say, one major daps. If the orange is ripe, we are going to juice it. So we are working with the orange right now. So, ABR family and viewers, I'm about to jump off this live. Thanks for the continued support from each and every one. Please stay tuned for more videos, more updates. As you come off this live, please to leave a like on the video. Please to leave a like on the live. Share it out to everyone.
You're going to hear all kinds of propaganda. You're going to hear all kinds of lies and deception. There will be tactics used to try and buy you out. There will be tactics used to try and frighten you away. And I only have to say one thing to you tonight, comrades. We are blood and fire comrades, and we're marching on to progress. And we will stand firm. We will not be bought because we are not for sale.